Well, welcome everybody to another Wednesday virtual tasting of the featured Foggy Noggin Beer of the Week. And today we are going to be talking about and tasting our Effin' Rye IPA. Beautiful beer. You can see the clarity on that. And we'll be able to be outside again today, which is nice. I don't know how many more of these outside opportunities we'll have, but it's nice for us to be able to be out here and a little smoky in the high atmosphere tonight, but it's pleasant. It's a little warm, a little muggy, but great beer drinking conditions. So, let's start off with the recipe, and let's talk a little about this beer. So this is our rye IPA. It's called the Effin' Rye IPA, and it's 8.1% alcohol. And it's 58 IBUs. So it's a little bit lower on the IBU spectrum as you would think for an IPA. And the reason is we don't want to deter from the big malty rye character of this beer, which really is what this is all about. And the hops are a complement to it to bring out all the other tones. So our original gravity is at 1083, 1.083. Our terminal gravity is at 1018, 1.018. Color on this is 11.6, so you can see it's got some nice, I'd say brassy, orangey coloring to it. Very clear. It's got great clarity to it. We did a third of a barrel batch, which is 10.5 gallons for the recipe, and we used London water, and we also used the Fuller's yeast, which is White Labs WLP002, for everybody who's looking for all those specifics. The malts on it, we use crisp Maris Otter, which comes from England. It's floor malted, and it's 16 pounds or 43.8% of the malt bill. And then equivalent amount, we use Weyermann's Rye, which is from Germany, and it's a great rye malt, and we use 43.38% for 16 pounds as well. We also used 1 pound of Weyermann's Caramunic 3 that gives us some nice dark color to it, just a little tad of color, and it gives us some of that rich dark roasted malt character. 1 pound for 2.7%. We also used 1 pound of Castle biscuit malt from Belgium, and that's 2.7% as well. And then we added 2 pounds of rice hulls, because with that much rye, you could have a stuck mash, and we want that mash to flow well so we can extract all those sugars. So 2 pounds of rice hulls in there, and that's all mixed in with the mash at 158 degrees. It's a little bit warmer temperature. The reason we do that is we also want to make sure we bring out the big malty richness to it. And so a little bit warmer temp at 158 for 60 minutes, and we sparge it out with 170 degrees sparge water, and that's going to give us a great chance of collecting all the sugars and get them off those grain husks. We're going to boil it for 1 hour, and we've got at 60 minutes left in the boil, or when the boil first starts and we get stabilized, we're putting in 2 ounces of Columbus, which gives us 48 IBUs. And at zero, at flame out, we've got 3 different hops we're adding. We're adding 2 ounces of Columbus, 5 ounces of Cascade, and 2.5 ounces of Centennial. And that's a lot of flame out. It's give us flavor and aroma and not that much bitterness, because the total out of that for bitterness, we're only getting 10 IBUs for addition of 9.5 hops, 9.5 ounces of hops. And so then it goes into our fermentation for 2 weeks at 65 degrees as introduced, unless it goes to 68. And then we move it into secondary for 2 weeks at 32 degrees for the clarity. And the clarity is outstanding on it. We keg it, force carbonate it to 1.5 volumes, which is the English preferred level, and then we are drinking it right now. Beautiful color, nice white head to offset it, and it's just a beautiful combination there. Let's smell it. I'm picking up a nice rye character. I'm picking a nice citrusy hop aroma. It just is calling me to taste it. It's got that just wonderful, gentle richness and citrus hoppy character. And that beer just is, wow. It's full-bodied. It's rich, spicy. Rye is really what we wanted to bring out, and we're getting that, the spice rye character, not in a negative way, in a very positive way. Warmth from the alcohol, 8.1%. All that citrus tones, getting some kind of marmalade, orange marmalade kind of flavor out of it, but it finishes with a firm bitterness on it, and it's delightfully delicious. It's a beer you're going to want to have. Now, I'm warning you right now, there's not a lot of it for this weekend. There's only 10 growler fills, and some have already been pre-sold. So if you're going to want it for Friday or Saturday, you got to order it and you got to pay for it. So when we're out, and we will let everybody know that it's gone. But it's not going to make it through the weekend. This is a delightful beer. It's always popular when we do it, and we'll have to do it again because it's so popular. So I'm getting, I poured this about, I'd say 10 minutes before the show. I went to warm up just a little bit. I'd say it's probably tasting at about 46, 48 degrees. Malt is big, it's robust, it's dominant, it's delicious. But I would say it's rye is the prime upfront character. You're going to get that spicy rye character out of it, like a rye bread, just big, bold, and just it's delicious. And if you took rye bread, toasted it, and you put a little butter on it and some orange marmalade, I think that's what you're going to think about this. I would say that it's something that when you're talking about food preparation or food complements with it, I don't know if I really can think of food that would, you don't want to distract from the beer. I think this is a beer that might be best had on its own. Maybe you have some pretzels with it or something to interact with that saltiness, which go well with it, or maybe a cracker or something. But this is a beer that's going to want to be enjoyed to its fullest and have no distractions from it. It's really, really good. And it makes me want to drink more. But if I drink more, there'd be less growlers for you guys to pick up on this weekend. So I got to be careful about that. 8.1%. It's got enough alcohol where I can taste the warmth in the back of my tongue right before you get into that bitterness that just kind of explodes. Slow explosion, and it just lingers on and on and on. It's excellent. Let's see if we've got any comments coming from anybody here. So let's see, we've got Zach says, howdy, how you doing? Tony's there, Lee's there, Stephanie's there, Nancy and Dave are there. Question from Zach is, how did you discover your favorite malts, like the German rye malt in the sky? Well, you think about, when I think about rye beers, they're German heritage. So that's really where, when I think of rye, and who's going to do German malts better than a German maltster? And Weyermann has just been the king of German malting, I think, and that's who I look to. And I have not experienced other people. I only have done it with that, and I just figure go with who's the best. Thanks, James. I know that you want your effing beer, and we all want everybody to get their effing beer. So that's this weekend, 4 to 5 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday for curbside pickup. And that's how we're doing the beer still until this COVID restrictions get released so we can get you back in our tasting room, because that's where we really want to see you guys. Is this going to be a beer you brew every year? Zach says, well, we do it at least once a year, maybe sometimes twice a year. And to be honest, the only reason there's only 10 kegs is we did a double batch earlier in the, I'd say late spring, early summer, and we held this one back. And so we didn't just brew it again. So this is, and I think this beer is a little better with that little age on it. And it's, even the bitterness is, I think, more pronounced, but I think the malts are even more mingled together, and they've kind of marinated together to give me a a bigger, bolder flavor. So this one's a little special. It's not it's not a fresh keg that we just did in the last couple weeks. This is probably I'm thinking we did this in June. So this is about 3 months old, and I think it's peak. It's really, this is better than I remember it being when it was absolutely fresh. How about drinking the beer with rye toast and orange marmalade? Well, I think that'd be a great experience because that's kind of what my taste buds are coming up with, and just a little bit of butter. Don't forget that. And I wouldn't toast it overly toasty. You don't want to get it too dark toasted. I think this has got that medium toast with a little butter and a little marmalade on it. And since this is a historical beer, is the brewing process more time-consuming than usual? It's not more time-consuming. This is something you got to make sure that you got the rice holes, because the rye malt turns into dust really as you mill it, and you don't want all that dust to become a big gooey glob. Rice holes are going to be in the middle of it, and they're going to allow all the liquid to flow all the way through the bottom so we can collect all those sugars, and that's really important part. Chris says, miss you all in the taste room, wish to get my effing beer here in Texas. And, well, you know, as we have a lot of our regulars and loyals get other job opportunities or opportunities to move to areas that they're interested in, and sometimes it's a family thing, a job thing, a retirement thing, and Chris, hope you're enjoying Texas. Texas has got some beautiful areas, and they got some good beer down there too. So we miss seeing you too, and when you ever come back up, I hope we're back open so you can stop in and say hi again. So that's all the comments at this moment, but let's go over this recipe one more time here. So it's 8.1%. It's a rye IPA, and it's 58 IBUs. So it's the relationships in the alcohol and the IBUs is not your typical IPA kind of comparison. You would think this would be probably in the 70s to 80s for IBUs. But being that we had such a heavy Columbus bitterness at the 60 minutes in the boil, is coming through as it's not something that is lacking any bitterness quality for an IPA. So we have 4 malts. We have crisp Maris Otter, which is a floor malted English base malt, Maris Otter, 16 pounds, 43.8%, and also 16 pounds or 43.8 of the Weyermann rye malt. And when I do the rye like that, one of the things I do is I triple mill the rye because I want to make sure I pull all that rye out. So that's the first thing I measure out, and I put it through my mill, and I do it 2 times by itself, and then I add it to all the other malts and let it come through one more time with the Maris Otter and the Caramunic and the biscuit. And so we also have 1 pound of Caramunic 3 from Weyermann, or 2.7%, and also 1 pound of Castle Biscuit, 1 pound, 2.7, and that comes from Belgium. And then as we stir it in, the key thing is I put my rice hulls in first, and then I add all of the milled grains into the mash tun and stir it, because I don't want everything to sink to the bottom and get that stuck mash. So that's kind of one of the secrets I've got. We let it sit there for an hour at 158 degrees. Then we sparge it with 170 degree water, pull all the sugars into the mash tun, and we boil it for 1 hour. As soon as we got our boil going, we start our 60-minute countdown, and we add 2 ounces of Columbus hops, give us 48 IBUs, and then at flame out, we add 2 ounces of Columbus, 5 ounces of Cascade, and 2.5 ounces of Centennial. That gives us another 10 IBUs. And I think it's just a great harmony of citrusy forward hops, and just gives us, that's where that marmalade flavor is coming out of. So we move it to fermenter at 65 degrees, and then we let it sit there for 2 weeks. Don't let it get above 68 degrees. Pull it out, cold crash it in secondary at 32 degrees for 2 weeks, and then we keg it, and we carbonate this at 1.5 volumes. So let's see what else we got here. Zach says, any blending ideas? Well, I would just enjoy this beer the way it is. I'm sure you could pull out some other flavors of it if you wanted to. If you said, I really want just a tiny bit of more roasted tones to it. You can add a little Christmas duck and add to it. But I think let's enjoy this beer the way it is, and let's save some other beers for doing some blending opportunities. Because I think this one's, I wouldn't change a thing on this beer. Now, like I said, you're only having, well, we started the week with 10 growler fills, and so I think we're down to maybe 6 now. That's not that many, so get your orders in quick if you really want to get this beer. Now, we've got 8 beers for growler fills. This is not the only one, and there's a lot of people out there who are not IPA fans, and they don't like the taste of rye. They don't like the hoppy ones. We've got some malty ones too. So if you go to the foggynogginbrewing.com website and hit the beer tab, you can get a list of all the 8 beers we're doing growler fills on, and that's the best place to be looking. You send us an email what you want. We send you an invoice, and it's ready for you to pick up. Just make sure you tell us which day you want to pick up, Friday or Saturday, 4 to 5 p.m., and it'll be ready for you. Drive up. We can put it in your trunk, in your back seat, or hand it to you, whatever you're most comfortable with. We want to make sure this is a great experience for you so you can enjoy yourself. We also have a great selection of bottles. We've been having a lot of bottle sales. We just got a big order today for a lot of bottles because we've got house ale, both batch 28 and 29. There's only 9 bottles left of 28, so they're both great, and I would recommend you buy both of them and taste them both, and so you can see the difference one little batch to the next can have, those just little nuances. We've got Wasky, our Burton Ale, which is a world-class rated Burton Ale, and we've got our 2020 anniversary, but we also have other years of the anniversary ale, and prices are listed on there as well for each different year. We have our Christmas Duck Porter and our Bit of Beaver English Bitter. Those are all available in bottles, in 22-ounce bottles. And then we have 1 bottle left. I think we only have 1 bottle of 2019 Duck's Ass, our English barley wine. I think we just sold the last of our 2018, and there's just 1 bottle left. I'll have to double check. So that's what's coming up for this weekend. And we got Zach says he always lets his parents try his effing beer, and this is his dad's favorite. He's a big IPA guy. And, you know, I'm not a big IPA guy myself, but I really love this beer. The other IPA I really like is our Cease and Desist Skittles IPA, and we have some back again this week. We've sold out the first 2 weeks, and so we've got some more for this weekend. You know, the Seahawks are 3-0, and I would not take the chance to watch the Seahawks play without some of that beer on hand. So we've got it in growler fills and in 22-ounce bottles, and it's listed on our website as well, so you can get those ordered. So you don't want to chance that. They're having a great start, 3-0. Let's make it 4-0, and they're playing the Dolphins at 10 in the morning. You know, it's not too early to have a little candy in your beer, and so it's a little Skittles IPA Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Sounds like a winner to me. Let's taste this again. It's just a delightful beer. I can't see anything I would ever want to change on it. It's just, I like the rye character. I like that little spicy character. I like the rich maltiness. I like the orange marmalade on the back of my tongue. I like the heat of the alcohol as it's going down to your throat, and then I just love that lingering bitterness to it in a nice, gentle but firm. It's very apparent, and it is a hoppy beer. So next week we're doing our fresh hops. So we have 2 different fresh hops we're releasing. We'll do a tasting of both of them. We have an English fresh hop, which has got some Fuggles and some Centennial and some Willamette and some Mount Hood and some what's the other? Those are mainly the hops, and then we have an American IPA, and it's all Mount Hoods, and so and it's all American IPA. The American fresh hop has only domestic two-row from Alberta, Canada, and the English one has only English Maris Otter. So it's 1 malt and all this fresh hops. You can't wait for that one. That's going to be fun. Zach says, is Duck's Ass an endangered species now? Well, we'll be brewing here soon. We hold back Duck's Ass because it's so good, but we only release so many bottles each year. And so we'll be brewing the 2020 Duck's Ass probably starting in November, and we release that in January. And so that's a great English barley wine. Oh, delicious. And Skittles IPA for breakfast? Yes, please. Well, yeah. I mean, is there ever really a bad time for beer? I think that you go to a porter or a stout for breakfast, they go so good with eggs. Eggs and hash browns and bacon and a nice Christmas duck porter. That's delicious. That's a great breakfast meal right there. So next week's the Fresh Hop beers, and then tomorrow night, 5:30, is the happiest half hour of the week, and it's the official start of the weekend. And it's a little song, music, fun, little laughter, and just a downright good old time. Same place, Facebook Live, 5:30 though on Thursdays, and we're getting a great audience growth out of this, and it's a great community that we've built there, and we hope you guys have a good time with it. So that's tomorrow night, Thursday, 5:30. Best way to get notified on these things is on our Facebook page. If you sign up and follow us, and then you ask to be notified for live videos, and you will get it. It'll pop up, and so you'll know when we go live. And we only go live on Wednesdays for these events, and Thursdays for Happy Half Hour. And where did you get your hops from, Ryan says? So for our fresh hops, we grew some right here. Right behind me, we used to have some growing up on the sides, and we had them over there on that side. And then we also have one of our regular customers grows hops 3 miles north of here. My daughter, also one of the brewers here, has some grown in her backyard. And then we have another customer who lives probably 1/8 of a mile due west of here. We got some of his hops, and then we got just a tiny bit from another friend of my daughter's, some for her. So they're all local. They're all harvested right on brew day and put in as fresh as you can. So you just can't get any fresher than that. And it's going to be really fun to taste those. And it's a little bit different take on how we've done fresh hops in the past, but I'm always up for trying new things and exploring, and it's just a lot of fun. And I love fresh hop season. I love fresh hop beers. I love that flavor of them. Porter with pancakes too. Yeah, I think that's probably a really good thing. I don't know if I've had a porter with pancakes. It'd be kind of cool if you put some porter into your pancake mix as well. That could be kind of a fun thing. And then Christmas duck, bacon, and eggs. Yeah, how was that not just sound delicious? So, Mark McCullough is the hot bandit. That's what Zach just said. Well, and Mark McCullough just joined us watching it, and you can thank Mark for most of the Mount Hoods that we have in our fresh hop beers. He's the master of growing hops in this area around here. So, and thanks, Mark. We're looking forward to tapping those beers next week for the fresh hop beers. Couldn't have done without Mark and Jeff and Stephanie. A lot of fun to get the community together to put a community focused beer out there. So let's taste this again, because this is probably now close to 50 degrees. The smell is just delightful. It's citrusy, rye, spicy. Every time I taste it, I feel like it's getting just bigger in flavor, bigger in rye burst, bigger in toastiness, bigger in orange marmaladeness, bigger in the hop aftertaste and the dryness. It's just, wow. This is a winner, and I feel sorry for anybody who doesn't get the opportunity to try it. I wish we had it for everybody, but we don't. So those that can get it, I'm glad for you. Those that don't, you'll have to get it next time we do it, and hopefully next time we do it, we'll be in the tasting room to drink it as well. So just a reminder, it's a Friday and Saturday curbside pickup, 4 to 5 p.m. How do you know what to get? Go to the foggynogginbrewing.com website, hit the beer tab. It's all listed there. All 8 beers for growler fills. All the bottles are for sale. And we have a lot of merchandise too. You can get this cool hat. You can get shirts like this. You can get tack signs. You can get proper 20-ounce English Nonic style pub glass. You can get decks of cards. We have a lot of stuff that you can get. So, and you know, boy, the temperature is cooling down, and soon I'll be wearing my Foggy Noggin sweatshirt, which is the best sweatshirt you've never owned, because you don't have one. We still have, I think we have every size in stock. I think we have at least one of each size. So you might want to get those before we start losing those sizes, because as it turns a little cooler, people are going to start thinking sweatshirt weather, and it always makes you feel good. A new one for the season, right? So Friday, Saturday, 4 to 5 p.m. curbside pickup, and tomorrow night is virtual happy half hour, 5:30, Facebook Live right here. Why don't you subscribe to our notifications right now before you forget it, and it'll pop up and you don't have to worry about looking for us. And then next week is the Fresh Hop beers, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I always look forward to Fresh Hop release. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. It's fun to talk to you guys, and getting good feedback on people really enjoying these virtual tastings. And everybody stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.